Welcome back, everyone. For today's video, we are going to be playing against more of the bots on chess.com. Now, as you guys know, chess.com has come up with some very innovative bots in the last couple of months. We had some bots celebrating Women's History Month. We, of course, had the famed mittens. We had Anish mittens. And now we have the FIDE World Championship bots for the two contenders, Ian Nepomniachtchi and Ding Liren. So we are going to play against both of these bots, and I'm going to give you my personal opinion as to whether chess.com has done a good job of making these bots comparable, or if they are completely different, and I do not approve whatsoever of the bots that chess.com has come up with. Let's dive right into the action. So here we go. First and foremost, we're going to be playing against Ian Nepomniachtchi. We'll play two games, one with white and one with black. We'll play with no assistance. Let's start by playing knight f3. Now, I don't know how strong this bot is. I'm going to assume it's somewhere around a 2800 level. So let's play an opening that Ian Nepomniachtchi himself lost against, which is the classic London system. So let's go bishop to f4, and he plays e6. Now, in this position, I'm going to play pawn to e3. He goes bishop e7. Now, already a little bit more of a passive setup. I suspect that he wants to play knight h5 and win the bishop, so I'm going to go h3. So on knight h5, I have bishop to h2. Ian castles. I will play bishop to d3, creating the classic wooden shield here in the middle of the board. Now, of course, I want to connect all the pawns, and I want to build this big pyramid of Giza. We get c4. Now, c4 looks very dubious. Ian himself would never play a move like c4, so I'm already a little bit skeptical about this opening choice. Now, Ian should go all in with b5, a5. I think here I will play a3 to stop b4, because then there's b4, queen a5. A lot of tricks here on the diagonal. So he goes a5. I will develop my knight. b4 takes. You lose the tower in the corner. Bishop b7 is played, and now I have to do something very aggressive. Now, I could play b3 here, but I'm worried about b4. b4 is also a move, but knight to e5 feels very thematic, feels very much in the spirit of how you should play the London system. Ian plays knight to e4. So now I think what I'm going to do is I can play queen to b1 to attack on the diagonal. I could also trade the knights. I could also play f3, although f3 probably allows bishop to h4. So here I think what I'm going to play is not takes after takes, he's f6 kicking the knight, but instead I'm just going to quietly castle my king out of the center of the board. Ian plays f6 here, and now I assume I should play knight to f3, although I could go knight g4, but knight f3 looks correct. Now we'll see if Ian plays g5, h5. He actually plays f5, and now he lets me get this great bastion. Perfect knight in the center. I can play f3 to kick the knight out, so he trades the knights. Now already here I feel like I'm doing quite well. I don't know if I would say that I'm winning, but I feel like I should be better. Now here I could play b4, which is an interesting move. In fact, I think it's quite reasonable. However, if I really want to win the game, the way that I try to win is going f3, g4, king h1, rook g1, and trying to attack on the king side. So in the spirit of trying to win this game, I'm actually going to play, I could trade and then play f3. I could also go king h1 first. In the spirit of trying to win the game, I'm going to play king h1. Now, normally I would probably play b4 and just make a draw, but here I'm not going to show any fear of Ian, and I'm going to try to dominate him psychologically. So in this position, he plays bishop d6. I'm going to go f4, protect the bishop here. I can take with a d pawn. I can also go g4. I really want to play rook g1 somewhere here. Now, again, he wants to play b4 and open up the queen side, but I'm not super worried. So I think because of that, I'm just going to go rook g1 here. Maybe I have bishop d1, bishop f3 somewhere. Now we get this classic capture of the bishop on e5. Now I can take with the d pawn. I can also take with the f pawn. Not really sure which one is correct, but again, in the spirit of trying to win this game, f takes e5 looks like the correct move, just to play for g4. He goes bishop c6, and now rook f1, rook f4 is a possible idea here. I think what I'm going to do is I think I am going to go rook f1. I want to play g4 here, open up the king side. Now after b4, my plan is to maybe take and play bishop b1. I hope that I'm not losing here. I think I'm still okay after bishop b1, because when he takes the pawn, I take back with my pawn. He goes g6. Now I'd love to go g4, but there might be queen h4 here, which could be a slight problem. So first and foremost, the way that I'm going to play this is I'm going to go king to h2 and then g4 next move. That is my plan. So he goes h5, which is actually, I think, a very good move that I kind of overlooked, and now I might be in some trouble here, because if I go g4, there's trading queen h4, and it's starting to look kind of ugly, kind of really ugly. So I'm going to play g3 here. Ideas I maybe want to activate like rook g2 or rook b1. I'm starting to feel like I'm getting outplayed here quite a bit, and I think I might just be losing here. This is not looking very attractive. If I go rook g2, It takes. I have bishop d3. I mean, I'm very close to being in a lot of trouble here. He goes bishop a4. Now, after bishop a4, I'm going to go all in. I'm going to play g4. I don't like bishop a4 because it closes the this a file for the rook to activate. And I feel like maybe I'm okay here. Maybe being the key word. Probably not, but maybe. So I'm going to take. And now I'm threatening to capture on f5. He goes bishop e8. Now, this is, I think, a mistake. Wait, if I take the pawn, he has rook a1. I go bishop d3, maybe. Somehow I feel like Jan has definitely made a mistake here, but I don't know how to punish it. Now, I could get very aggressive here and sack a bishop and get take and have the pawns rolling. Is that what I want to do, or do I want to take with a pawn and allow rook to a1 and then bishop d3 and trade and probably make a draw? Interesting question here. I feel like we have the classic there's the classic saying, which is fortune favors the brave, from Latin, which is fortis fortuna juvat. So I kind of want to sack the bishop, but I think taking with the pawn is probably just correct. He's going to go rook a1 here. I'll play bishop d3. We'll trade the rooks on f1 here, and he's going to take back. And now I still remain very slightly worse, but I think after queen to f2, trying to trade the queens, I should be okay here. I don't know if it's great. I'm going to go rook c2 and bishop g2 here. He's getting a passed pawn eventually, but this should be okay with bishop g2, I feel like, unless I blunder rook b1. But now I'll go bishop to g2, attacking the pawn. Probably will get bishop to c6 or bishop to a4. Plays bishop f7. So now I could play bishop h3, but I think I'm just going to go king f2, king g3, and then probably bishop f3. And I think that this should be a draw, most likely here, after I go bishop f3, simply because I don't think either side can do a whole lot here. If I play rook c1 and the idea is rook a1, he can't really go rook b2 because I have rook a1, rook a6. So I think we're going to get a draw here, unless there's some f4 trick, which I don't see right off. It goes g4. I think I play bishop to g2, keep an eye on the pawn on d5, of course. And now I think I just slowly wait, although maybe there's rook a2, which I also kind of missed, so I have to go bishop f1. And maybe this is starting to get a little bit out of control. Maybe I'm actually losing here because there's going to be a rook c2 move somewhere, and this might be losing. I might have actually messed this up. I guess I'll play rook b1 and rook b7. Got to go all in here. I go rook b7, attack the bishop. He can maybe take. He goes bishop g6. Now I still feel like here there probably are chances to draw this game if I'm precise, but since I don't want to spend all day looking at the possible moves here, I probably will just make a move quickly and lose. Rook g7 is a possible move. Rook b6 is also a possible move. I think I'm most likely losing, though. Most likely I am losing here because I simply am a little bit too slow pushing the pawn up the board. So I guess here, how do I do this? The problem is that at some point there's a g3 f4 combo where he gets a pass pawn going up the e file, and I think this is pretty cleanly losing. I will play bishop to g2 and take the pawn. I mean, of course I'm going to lose this here, I'm quite confident. There's also f4 instead of rook e3, which is very strong, and of course Jan does not miss it. I'll go king f2, and now there's rook c2, and I will probably resign the game, although he takes with the pawn, which does give me king e2. There's king f4, and I lose anyway. And if I play king g3, e2, king f2, there's probably some way that black is winning, but I'll play it anyway. Rook c1, I have rook b2 maybe, but then there's bishop d3 and e2, and I will lose this game, and I will resign. So probably somewhere in the middle here, I was okay at some point. I got a little bit careless when I tried to attack. Probably what I should have done, if we look at this game in depth going back, and I will turn on the analysis so you guys can see it, is if I was trying to be safe somewhere around this position. What I should have played was I probably should have traded and gone g4 or traded and gone b4. I think even here b4 would have been okay. Computer likes bishop c6, and after rook b1, with the queen side being so clogged here after takes, even though black can claim the a file here after rook a1, white should be okay, and probably I should be able to save it and make a draw, even though black still has a slight advantage here. Nonetheless, instead I play rook g1, and this is still kind of okay here. Probably I should take with the d pawn. I took with the f pawn, which was a mistake, because here what I should do is play for queen d4 and g4 again. And now with the f file being closed versus this position, g4 is much more effective. So not the best first game that we've ever played, but we will play another game, and we will play this time with the black pieces, and let's see how it goes. So we get e4. I will play e5 here, just try to be very solid. I do think the bot made a few mistakes. few mistakes in that late middle game, but I wasn't able to take advantage of them. Overall, I would say that first game somewhat like Nepo in terms of the quick moves and things of that nature, but not Nepo's openings and not his traditional style. He's generally a much more aggressive player. So the first game, it's an okay game, but nothing I would say that really resembles Jan. Now the second game, we're getting the Gucci piano, and this does resemble Jan very closely. This is an opening that Jan has played many times. I will play bishop b6. Probably will get a4, a5, b5, knight e7, and knight g6. Very standard Gucci piano here. White has taken some space on the queen side, but I get the knights to f6 and g6. There's rook e8. There's also c6 somewhere in here. I think rook e8 is still the correct move with bishop e6, if I remember this line correctly. Again, all standard theory so far. Now, if I play bishop e6, maybe he'll trade and go knight c4, potentially, but we'll see. So he trades. Now if knight c4, I might be able to take the pawn. So he goes queen c2 to go knight c4 next move. And now I have to actually come up with some moves. Now d5 is a move, rook e8 is a move, knight d7 followed by rook f6 is also potentially a move, and it looks interesting enough that I'm going to play it. So I'm going to go knight d7, knight c4, and then I'm going to go rook f6 here to try and take the knight, maybe put pressure on it. I still don't know if he's going bishop b2 or if he's going to play knight c4. Multiple options for white. So I think that here I will play, if I come up with a logical conclusion, if I reach a logical conclusion, it is that I should probably play queen to e7 and line up the legendary triple stack here. King g2, I will play rook e8, because now if d5, I go rook f6, and the diagonal is completely open here. And I'm feeling pretty good about the position. I don't know if it's like really special or not, but with this pressure, it looks quite good. Now, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play this. Oh wait, if I go rook a8, there might be no, there's no knight h2. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go rook a8. If he takes, I might take with the pawn. I can take with the knight. Now there are multiple captures here. I just have to figure out which one I want to play. My instinct is to take with the pawn to open up the c file here, because it's an open c file. I can create the bastion. He goes knight h2 to try and trap my rook on f6, and this actually looks a little bit scary for me. I might have made a mistake here because there's knight g4, knight e3 to get a bastion on f5. And this could actually be quite dangerous for me. So I have made a mistake here, which I'm starting to realize pretty quickly. Now maybe I can play h5 here. There's probably h4 and bishop g5, which looks pretty bad too. If I go knight to f8, which I think is what I should play, I think I'm going to go rook g6. He's going to go knight e3, knight f5. And I'm going to have to be very careful here, because this is quite scary. Now first I'm going to create the bastion with the knight on c5. This is the first logical move that I should play. I'm going to go queen d8 here. And now he goes h4, trying to play for h5. I think I will go rook f6 probably. If g4, I can always sack. If I can get this knight to e7 and trade the knights, I may be okay. Now, he plays h5. And now what I'm going to do here, you guys, I'm going to play a very instructive sacrifice. I'm going to sack the rook with rook takes f5. And I think I can close this position up enough to where it will be a draw. I'm going to go rook c8. I have an open file here. Now the key to this position here is that I'm going to go f6 to lock it all up here. Going to be very hard for white to do anything special. I think I'm actually going to go knight d7 here, and I'm going to do something else, you guys. I'm going to do something else quite interesting. I'm going to play rook to c5 here, and I want to see if the weak engine captures. Now it does capture. Now this is very reminiscent for anybody who's never seen my games before of a game that I've played against Ribka. I had a 250 move win where I sacked 2 rooks in return for 2 bishops. And so here we're going to see. Now I don't take with this pawn because there's d6. I can take with either the b pawn or the knight. Now if I take with this one, there's b6, so I assume I should take with the knight here. We're probably gonna get rook a3. Now the reason this should be a draw is because I should be able to close the center of the board here. It's a very clogged position. I'm going to actually run my king all the way over to the queen side. He goes f4. I expected that. Now he wants to take the pawn on e5, so I think what I do here is probably I play knight to d7, or do I go king g8? Now I realize there might be a slight problem here with what I've done, in that if I go king g8 takes 6, there might be f6. So I think I'm going to play knight d7 so that I can take with the knight on e5. He goes rook e3, and now I will go king g8, trying to keep the center very close. Now it's worth noting g5 is not a very strong move here. So now I will play knight to f8, and I'm probably going to go knight c5 here. I still have to be very careful how I play this. I could go queen c7, but knight h7 still looks correct here to blockade on the dark squares. I will play queen to c7, targeting the pawn on c4. And at some point, I assume he's going to have to trade something. So I will go queen d8 again. I have takes. I simply have knight g5. So I will just go, I guess, queen to I don't even know which square. I'm gonna go to c8. I don't think it really matters that much. We're probably gonna be playing a game of waiting here, a game of chicken in a sense, where we're just waiting to see who captures which way. He goes rook e2. Now I can play knight c5 again, and I think I probably should at some point, but I'm still worried about what's happening in the center of the board. So I'll go queen d8. I'd love to put my king on a7 here, by the way, but I can't. So I'll go knight c5, gain one extra tempo here. I will pre-move knight d7. We'll see if he takes or he doesn't take. He goes rook e1. Again, I think I will just play queen to c8 so I can take knight f6 here. And I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay. I'm just going to play king h8, probably king g8 next move. Wait for him to trade some pawns on e5, go knight f6, knight g5, and lock the center of the board. So I will play queen c5, gain a tempo on the rook. I will drop back next move, of course. And let's see if he takes on e5 or if he plays something else. Now here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go queen to d8. Just again, not a necessary move, but it's a move that makes some sense. Queen c8, of course, and we'll see how many more moves we're going to play here before it finally makes a trade. At some point it's going to have to trade the pawns on e5. I don't know which move that's going to occur on, but at some point it will do that. So we're on move 54. We've played something like 40 moves, not 40 moves, but probably like 20 moves already. I'm trying to desperately save the draw here due to the clock nation. Now white can either try to take on e5, play g5, or c5. There are three potential breaks here, and I have to guard against all three of them. So that's why the knight must remain on h7 here to stop this pawn push to g5. So let's see what he does. He goes rook f1. I will keep waiting with king g8, king h8 effectively. Rook a1. I don't think that does anything, so I'm going to go queen c5 here. And we'll see what he does. He plays rook f3. I'll just drop back. Again, if queens come off here, I think there should be a draw, most likely, due to the closed nature of the position. But again, very, very hard to judge. So I'll go king g8. King h8. It's gonna have to take at some point, I assume. I'll go king g8 again. I can take with a knight. I can take with the pawn, of course. Let's just go here. Let's see what he does. Plays rook e4. I will go king g8 again. Now one thing to note is I can't play knight g5 here, because after takes it would play h6 and open up the king side. So that is important in terms of the general position here. Now I'm just king g8. There might be some c5 tricks, so I think here I am just going to play what am I going to play here? I don't believe him, because the c5 I can still always take with the pawn. I will go king h8 again and probably play knight c5. Let's kick the queen and drop back. Oh, there is queen a3, which I missed, but I guess queen a3, I just leave the knight on c5. It doesn't like it. So let's go queen c5, gain another move with a tempo on the rook, and I will pre-move queen c8. Let's just go king g8 again. If takes, I can just take. I'll go king h8. Of course, I'm never taking because of rook e8 with the classic kebab on the 8th rank. Now it plays c5. So now oh wait, I didn't mean to take with the pawn, but I meant to take with the knight. But okay, let's go b6 and lock up the queen side. I think if it had played b6, it might have been winning here. Now I think I'm actually very close to just drawing this game, simply because when I go king f8, now with the pawn structure like this, I can actually start to bring my king over to the queen side, and now I think I should just never be in danger of losing this position, because now I can go king d8, king c8. There's no c5 break. The whole queen side is completely clogged like the toilet, and I think that I might even win this game. This is starting to be reminiscent. Like I said, there's shades of the game that I played against this Ribka chess computer many years ago, where I sacked 2 rooks for I think 2 knights or a knight and a bishop. Eventually I won that game with like 7 knights on the board. We might see a repeat of that here if the algorithm tells the computer that it should trade the pawns on e5 here. That might happen. We'll see if it's going to happen or not. Again, we still have many more moves to go. I'm obviously going to start shuffling with queen f7, queen f8, and let's see if it actually trades at some point. This is the big question. Will it actually trade the pawns or not? So I'm going to go queen f7, target the pawn, and I'm just going to sit, chill, and wait with queen f8, queen f7 until the end of time. So we get king f2. I'm going to play queen d8, go back to f8. Let's keep waiting. Jan, by the way, would have been very frustrated already. If I was actually playing the real Jan, he would basically make a bunch of faces like he'd give that face like it's complete draw. But here the bot obviously has no such understanding of Jan's facial expressions, because it's AI, it's not a human, and as such the game goes on. Let's go here. I think I will just go queen d8. Now I might even play knight f8 somewhere here to induce g5, because now with the structure being so locked here, I feel like there's really no risk at all. So I'm gonna go back to h7. I mean, the more I look, the more concerned I become about it, and maybe it's not a problem g5, but it feels scary. So I'll go here. He's gonna take at some point, I assume. Just go here. I mean, if he doesn't take, I don't know what he's playing for. Let's go here. I do believe the computer should make the draw, though. At some point it should just make the 50 moves and then make the draw, because if it plays on, I think there's a good chance that I could win this game if I can get the pawns on e5, or if I can get the knights on f6 and e5 after the pawn trade. So let's see. Let's go here. Probably we'll get a trade somewhere. I guess I'll go here, and we keep waiting. Go here. We are now on move number 90. We are on move number 115. Let's see if it's actually going to take or not. Very, very critical moment. Let's go king a7. We just keep waiting with the king. Probably it's going to take or not. Let's go here. This, by the way, to be clear, is a bug in the programming in the Ribka engines in the old days. Because rooks are worth more than knights, it decided that it had to be a winning position, and if the evaluation was above a certain level, it would automatically play on and avoid a 50 move rule where no pawns or captures have occurred. And I'm curious if that bug is fixed in this chess.com bot, or whether that is still an existing glitch, because in this position the two rooks are worth more than the knights, so by pure material, white should be better. But we'll see if that bug still exists. So I go king g8 or king b8, king a7. I keep waiting forever. At some point it's going to take, guys. Okay, it does take. So I take with the f pawn, and now I'm going to go knight f6, and now it's game on. Now I think I'm going to actually win this game. Let's go knight g5. Look at D's knights, really, really well placed. I can go queen g8, target the pawn, and now what I'm going to do is I'm also going to bring my king over at some point. Like, I'm going to bring my king to the center of the board to guard the pawn on d6. So it's game on, but can I actually win this is the question. So let's go here. Idea to play e4 maybe. Plays queen e3. How do I do this? Okay, I'm trying to win this game, just to be clear for those of you guys who are watching. Think I'm just dilly-dallying. I am trying to win this game. Now the way that I'm going to try to win this game, I think I'm going to try to trade the queens. I think I try to trade the queens and then run my king up. I think this is how I actually win the game. I go queen g5 and knight f6, and at some point I think I should be able to break through. Like, he plays queen d2, so I will trade. Let's go knight g5. Actually, no, let's go king d8. I'm going to run my king to g5 instead. Let's go here. I want to go king f6 and king g5 maybe. I don't know if king g5 actually wins though, because I don't know how to activate both of D's knights. If I go king f6 and knight f6 with the idea of e4, it's an idea. Is it actually working? Highly unclear, because the problem is I don't quite have the squares for the knights. If I get the king to g5, and actually if I go king g5, there might even be f6 and some kind of weird checkmate idea, so let's not do it. But even if I go there, I need both of D's knights active. So I'll go here and knight f6, I guess. Still feels very difficult to play for a win. Maybe I can't even win here. Unless somehow I can, unless there's some way to move the knight. Actually, let's go here. I have an idea in mind here. Actually, I have an idea of what I'm trying to do. I want to maybe rotate the knights and win the pawn on d5 if I can. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go there. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go like knight e7 and knight f6 maybe, and try to win the pawn. Okay, let's go here. I'm trying to win this pawn on d5. It goes king h4. So if I take the pawn, there's g5. Now I do have a ton of pawns rolling up the board here, like e4, e3. Objectively, this should be winning, but it's not completely clean. So should I go for it or not? Because I can also take with this knight, but then he's going to go rook c1. I'm trying to figure this out. I feel like this is winning for me, but see, if my king was on d7, this would be an easy win, because the king would just guard the pawn. I could take and move away, but the king on f7, it's not an instant win. So maybe the way I do it is I play like, if I take, he goes rook c1, I have e4, rook d2, and then I don't have a good continuation. I mean, I think I am winning here, but I don't see it. So I'm just going to go king e8. And he goes rook c1. I'm going to go king to d7, because g5, I always take the pawn. Goes rook e1. So he offers me the capture, but then he plays rook d1. I don't have a good move. So how do I reset this? I guess I'll go knight h7. I guess I'll go knight g8. And we're back at square one, where somehow I don't know how I'm supposed to win this game. Maybe there's got to be some e4 push somewhere. Maybe I go check and knight g5. Trying really hard to create something, but I just don't see it. Maybe I go here and king f6. I go king f6, king f3, knight g5. Okay, he goes rook c4, so I have to go back. Have to go here. I mean, I really want to play e4, but okay, I guess I'll go for this because now f6 I can just take. If I get the knight to f6, maybe there's some trick here. Maybe. I really need this knight on e7 though. Somehow again my knights are misplaced. Now I could play e4 here. He takes, and I get knight e5, knight g4. That might actually be correct. Maybe it's correct, maybe it's not. But do I go for it or not is the big question. Do I go for it? Because e4 takes, knight e5. Now of course I could just wait here and make a draw quite easily, but a draw doesn't really feel like it does anything whatsoever. So to be or not to be, I'm trying to figure this out. I don't think it works though. So okay, let me try to do one more reroute with the ponies, and then we'll try to do one more reroute. If I can't find a way through, then I think I'm probably just going to make the draw. Goes king e3. I wish I could get this knight to f4. Maybe knight e7. Maybe I have knight h3 if I can put the knight on f4. Oh no, did I just blunder? I did just blunder. I just threw this game away. I got too careless. I did. No, I mean right here, if I move the king back, it's an easy draw. But I got too careless, and now I lose this game. Well, isn't that a bummer? That is actually a big bummer. Because if I take with the pawn, there's just b6, b7, and I lose the game. So I'll show you guys why. If I take, there's b6, b7. When I take, there's d6, d7 with the rook on d1, and white simply crashes through. So I should have made the draw, obviously, and I didn't make the draw. Now there's king e4, and white is simply winning, I believe, because I don't think I can hang on. Maybe there's some magic trick with like king e8, king d7, but it doesn't really look like it. So rather than waste all the time in the world, I will resign this game. What I want to see though when I click on the analysis is, of course I could have made this draw, but I want to see if there was ever a moment where I was winning, because I tried to trade the queens, and maybe I shouldn't have traded these queens. I could have just kept waiting. If we get to this position, let me click on the analysis. Was this position ever winning is the question, like right around here before the queen trade. See right here, it gives white a very small advantage. So that's 0.25. Now one of the things is that, like, maybe there was no way, right? It just says zeros. There's never a way for me to ever win, I don't think. So yeah, it should have been a draw. I tried really hard to break through, wasn't able to, and that's just kind of how it goes. But that's life. So it should have been a draw. I tried. I made a one move blunder at the end. Of course, I would also add, this is why when you play against computers, it's very frustrating, because like they never get tired, they never feel the pressure or the stress, and if you get careless for even one move, you're automatically going to lose. And I think e4 here was not working, right? White takes, knight e5, and rook to g1, and white is just winning. So actually what I thought initially was correct about that I should not play this e4 check. So I should have just made the draw, and that would have been that, but that's how it goes. So all right, that is going to be our video for today. We played 2 games against the Ian bot, one of the world championship contenders, probably going to be the world champion in my opinion, based on the score currently in the match. Nonetheless, some of the ways that played were similar to Ian, some of the ways were not similar. I think at the end of the day though, it is still just a bot, and there isn't really a specific style of it that makes me think this is Ian. So it's fun playing against the bots, but there wasn't anything specific about this bot that really stood out in terms of being Ian bot, or frankly being like Stockfish or Ribka, or I don't know, Mittens bot or anything else. Although actually, to be fair to Mittens and probably like Stockfish and Komodo and all those programs, it was a little bit weaker for sure, and it did have this glitch in this position with the 2 knights versus 2 rooks. Now I don't know if I ever did a video of the game that I won against the Ribka program with the 7 knights. Nonetheless, if I did, I will check my videos, and if there is one, I will put a link in the description below the video so you guys can watch that. But at any rate, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I made an attempt to play against the Ian bot. Once again, like I said, not really anything specific that makes me think of Ian Nepomniachtchi. Nonetheless, it's fun. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button below, and we'll be back soon with more great YouTube videos. See you guys. Bye.